Hey everyone, Melissa here, and I want to talk to you today about the things I've been doing to help Ultimate players level up their games using our methods that take just about 10 to 15 minutes a day on average. So, this is going to interest you if you know you have more potential in you than what you're currently showing on the Ultimate field. And if you've tried everything that you know how to do and still feel a bit stuck or you're plateaued, this is going to be good for you. Or maybe you've tried out for the same team multiple times, or you're not getting the playing time that you want on your current team, this is going to be good for you. So whether you got a late start in Ultimate or whether you're falling through the cracks on your current team, maybe you just haven't gotten the coaching that you really need to make a difference in your individual game. So, sometimes players come to me because they don't know what they're missing and they can't quite figure it out. So if any of this sounds familiar to you, then you are in the right place. So, if you could level up your defense or your decision making, your game IQ, or your confidence, what kind of thing would that do to your game? Or if you could go into the season feeling fully prepared, if you had a tryout plan, if you were ready to really execute under pressure, what would that mean to you? Or if you could just feel secure about your role in the team you're on, feel good about what you want, making sure that you're getting what you want from the sport of Ultimate that you spend so much time in. What would that do for you? And what if you could do all that while only adding 10 to 15 minutes a day to your current schedule? So I'm not asking you to put in double the effort, just a little bit different effort. So a little bit about me, in case you don't know, my name is Melissa Whitmer, and I really have a relentless focus on being practical and performance-oriented. So I started the Ultimate Athlete Project after becoming a far better athlete in my 30s than I ever was in my 20s. I did this using efficient programming and that I created myself, and then I've since helped thousands of athletes also achieve their athletic potential. And I think the secret to my successes is that I really I've trained as a scientist, so I kind of dive into what is scientifically theoretical, and then I make it practical. So there's no fads, no magic in any of my programming. And what I do now is I coach intermediate and elite level athletes looking to level up their Ultimate games. This is a great quote from a client of mine who said about one of my programs, better results than I thought possible with less effort than I expected. And this is really, I think, encompasses what I'm all about. So here are just some things that you can do with some of our training. So before, I would have described myself as a basket case. And then after, I play much more confidently under pressure. Before, I would not have considered myself very good on D. After doing this work, I got my first layout D. I can get clean blocks on a regular basis, even if I don't understand where they're actually coming from. Another client said, if you would have told me a few months ago that I'd be working out consistently 6 days a week, I would have thought you were crazy. So what are we doing differently to get these varied and good results? Well, we're using science and best practice, but we're using it with the most powerful training tool that we have, something that most of us carry around with us wherever we go, and this is your brain. So to understand the basic principle of why this training works so well is, I think of it as we have two brains. We have a conscious brain and a nonverbal brain. Conscious brain is the part of you that you learn how to use in school. It does things on purpose. It follows logic. It does the thinking and deciding consciously. And it can explain what it knows in words. Then you have the other part of your brain, the nonverbal brain, and it does things on autopilot. It controls a lot of what you do. It controls your motor skills learning and your motor skills execution. It controls your habits and your belief systems. And it cannot explain what it knows in words. It can only explain what it knows in feelings and sensations and actions. So it's a very powerful part of the brain, but it's one that you probably were not ever taught how to use on purpose. So a lot of what we do is learning to respect and use the correct part of your brain for the correct job. And so where most people go wrong is, they might watch some YouTube videos, better understand various parts of Ultimate Frisbee, read some articles, or get feedback from teammates and coaches, listen to game commentary. All these things are fine and good, but often what we're doing is we're just getting an intellectual understanding of the game. And we're even seeking on purpose an intellectual understanding of how it works. But that doesn't always translate onto the field because that's not the part of your brain that executes on the field. An intellectual understanding, being able to explain to someone else how the game works doesn't mean that you can actually perform on the field. So what we do instead is we don't worry about that. So again, the intellectual brain is not responsible for execution on the ultimate field. Instead, what we do is if you can get the nonverbal part of your brain to be on your side, working towards what you want and what you decide with your logical brain, then your results seem to appear more on autopilot much more easily. And again, it's because the nonverbal brain does most of what's important when it comes to sports. It executes habits that support our goals on autopilot. So if you have trouble sticking to a nutrition plan, sticking to working out, that's impartially what your nonverbal brain is responsible for, helping you execute the habits that you want. It solves problems that our conscious brain can't solve. It makes the decisions on the field. This is why it's so important for our game IQ. It makes decisions based on pattern recognition and makes them quickly without an intellectual understanding of what's going on. And pretty much it forces us to act in line with our belief systems and makes us uncomfortable whenever we're not acting in line with our belief systems. And this is why change, for better or for worse, is so difficult. So if you would like to change, you need to get your nonverbal brain on your side. And so what we do differently is that we train the nonverbal brain using a system that I've created that's easy to use, based on science and easy to use. And with this system, we're able to get noticeable results within 2 to 3 weeks, and it kind of helps you be motivated to continue. So we start with a very simple, small habit, and then we attach other mental training to it. You see results really quickly, and then you can continue with your mental training. You're establishing a mental training habit. And then we individualize your work based on your specific desired role on your desired team. And so basically it kind of looks like this. We start with an assessment, so we're starting on the upper left-hand corner, and we do an assessment of where you're at. We also do an assessment of yourself. What are your values? What's your playing philosophy? And we talk about your desired team and defining a specific role on that team. Then we choose the few things and focus on what's going to actually create the biggest results for you in the shortest amount of time. This is not rocket science, but it is something that players find very difficult to do. Focusing means that you don't get to work on everything, but it's really an important part of the programming, and it's what enables us to get quick results in a short amount of time. And then we work on those skills using and learning the mental training skills, meta mental training skills that you need in order to work on the skills that are going to be most important and effective in getting you your desired role on your desired team. So, and then we iterate on this process. So we're assessing, we're defining, we're focusing, we are using specific mental training tools to get you where you want to go. So just very quickly, some of these mental training tools we use, and I guess I've decided there's 7 of them: thought work and action work. We use visualization. We use visualization both to enhance your performance and to enhance your skills acquisition. Develop a pre-performance routine and use it, learn how to use it. Having mental map conversations to help you acquire skills from players that have them. Doing deliberate practice, understanding what that means, and creating deliberate practices for yourself. Using feelings as information is an important skill that most players have never been taught how to do. And then using a self-coaching reflection routine so that you can become much more in control of your own progress and your own pace of progress in your ultimate game. So this is especially for you if you want to play on a higher level team or make a larger contribution to the team that you're already on. This is especially for you if you feel like you have more potential on the ultimate field than what you're currently showcasing, right? So if your mental game is inhibiting you from showing what you've got, if you don't play well under pressure, or you only play well sometimes in certain circumstances, and you're not consistent, this is really for you. Or if you already know the value of mental training, some of this sounds familiar to you, if you've maybe tried all the things, you've read all the books, but you really haven't been able to use it or get results from it, then this is for you, because the system has proven to be really effective for a lot of different players. So the next step, if you're interested in this, is to fill out an application, and we can have a call and talk about it. Because this is coaching, there are limited spots available, both in a group program and one-on-one. we can talk about that on a call. Basically, if it looks good, we'll explore your goals, make sure it's a good fit, because it's important when you're doing this work that you're working with someone that that you trust, that feels right. So we'll get on a call and make sure that that's a good fit. On call, I'll learn more about your goals and your certain situation. I can answer any more specific questions you have about the program and explain things in more detail if you want. And basically, if it seems like a good fit, we'll just take the next steps towards working together to take it to the next level and be more confident in your playing skills and be more in control of your own progress. So that's basically it. Common results, getting a lot more confident on defense, something we've done repeatedly. This gives you a willingness to take harder matchups, especially covering the deep space. Laying out is a common result that we have gotten. People laying out for the first time or laying out for the first time on defense, confident in layout selection, things like that. Confident decisions in general on offense, being more willingness to be more assertive, throw deep, throw break throws, make more of an impact in the field. That's where we're trying to go. Getting the disc more often on continuation cuts is a result we've gotten. Turning weakness in the handler defense into a strength. Gotten that result multiple times. Consistent performance under pressure is one of our main results that we get for players. And going from identifying as injury prone to identifying as a healthy athlete, again, that is also related to confidence and layout selection and other things. So there's just a smattering of results that we've gotten, and these are common, not outliers. So this works for athletes just like you. So, I like to work with athletes who have big goals for themselves. So if you want to make a higher level team, I would love to help you work on that. If you're ready to invest time and financial resources into yourself and your ultimate career, then this is a good fit for you. And if you're willing to try something new in order to get superior results, these are definitely the type of athletes that I like to work with. So, next step again is to fill out an application, book a call, and we will see where it goes from there. All right, hope this was helpful for you, and I hope to talk to you again soon.